Good afternoon and welcome to the Bart DePaul Field on the campus of Pascack Hills High School. Today, the Broncos of Pascack Hills take on the Braves of Indian Hills High School in an NJILL Boys Lacrosse Contest. In order for this game to be fairly contested, it is expected that you will demonstrate good sportsmanship, that you will accept the decisions of the officials, and that you will do nothing to jeopardize the safety of the players, coaches, officials, or other spectators. All the high school student athletes competing today deserve the respect of everyone in attendance. Spectators are also reminded to please remain in the stands at all times. Inability to comply with these simple requests may cause you to lose the privilege of watching this game. We thank you for your anticipated cooperation for making this an enjoyable, competitive experience for all. The Braves are coached by Mr. Sean O'Connor. The Bronx are coached by Mr. David Bucko, assisted by Mr. John Esposito, Mr. Tyler Johnson, and Mr. Ryan Kennelly. Your officials for today's game are Mr. Michael Stein and Mr. Anthony Jones. At this time, we ask that all please rise and remove their hats as we listen to the Pascack Hills Chamber Choir sing our national anthem.
And a good afternoon to you all from Pascack Hills High School. As our public address announcer,
our track athletes, you may continue practicing behind the safety screens, and we do caution and remind you that as you are exiting the field, to please be mindful of the game going on. Thank you.
and as our wonderful public address announcer, Mr. Paul Henry, finishes up his PA announcement before our game, I'm very happy to say welcome to Pascack Hills High School once more this Thursday afternoon for our second broadcast of Pascack Hills Lacrosse. Today, once again, it's the boys varsity lacrosse team as they take on the Indian Hills Braves. The big thing to note for Pascack Hills coming into this matchup, they're 4-0. 4-0 in league play, 4-0 overall. They got the chance to go to 5-0 today. The problem is that in the last 5 games, the last one that these two have played, Indian Hills and Pascack Hills, that was an Indian Hills win, 8-3, the final score, back in March of 2022, just over 1 year ago. But the good news for Pascack Hills in this matchup is that they've won 3 of the last 5, so they have the winning record in that. The also good news for Pascack Hills is they're coming in on a lot of momentum with that 4-0 record. Indian Hills coming in off a 16-9 loss against White Englewood. They, as I said, they lost 16-9 in that one, but they are 2-1. They also beat Park Ridge 8-5 as Pascack Hills did last Monday, and they beat Paramus Catholic 17-2. A big win to kick off their season. Let's see if Pascack Hills can improve to 5-0, or does Indian Hills stop them in their tracks? We'll find out in just a few moments as we get ready to go. 12-minute quarters as per usual. Today for Pascack Hills, for the face-off, it is number 14, Ryan Davis. And he is going to go up against Tanner Gay, number 10 on Indian Hills. Here we go. Face off, ready, and we're underway. It goes out and it goes to Gay in Indian Hills. And quickly down the field, shot is going to be blocked by Rothschild, the goalie, and it will go out of bounds. Back the other way now that was Brady Gannon with it for Pascack Hills, but unfortunately he could not keep it. Now it's going to be with Indian Hills. And a goal already for Indian Hills. It's going to be number 3, Aiden Calviello. 1-0. A quick lead. Only 30 seconds into this one. How about that? So Hills is down. Of course, they're not out. Lacrosse games are very high scoring here. But back to the face-off, and a new guy for Pascack Hills. It is number 24, Zach Groves. Back to it in the middle. He was the face-off guy for every face-off in their last game. And back to it. Down on the ground goes Groves, but still a fight for the ball. Still on the ground in contention. And it's going to be Pascack Hills with it. Connor Onikian gets it and he'll pass it up. To John Stewart, who will pass it to Mark Espinoza behind the goal. He's going to give it back to Stewart. And they'll keep passing to each other. And here comes CJ Driver with it now as they cool themselves down. Now back to Ryan Davis, who started things off. Now Cole Brennesser. And now it's Michael Weaver who scored the opening goal against Park Ridge. Stewart behind the goal. He gives it to Driver, also behind. Now he's going to drive in. Can't get there. Too many Indian Hills defenders. Now Driver. Can he get in? No, he's dropped it. And Indian Hills gets it back into the middle. A give to their goalie, number 0, Ryan Cam. And now Cam going to launch it. Dropped. It was intended for Stuck, but it was dropped, and now Driver and Stuck both in contention for the ball. And a foul going to be called. It's going to go Pascack Hills' way. CJ Driver with it. And he'll start things up again. Driver looking for the pass. He's going to give it back to Davis. Now it is Stewart with it behind the goal. He's going to try and charge in and get the tying goal with a nice pass. A good save from Indian Hills from Ryan Cam. That was the shot from Ryan Davis there. But Cam stood his ground and saved it once again. 1-0 the score. Now 9 minutes 30 to go and counting. As here comes Calviello up the field. Number 3 scored the opening goal and so far only one of this game. Calviello still with it. Aaron D'Alessandro on him. And he gave it over to deep in Pascack Hills territory. Nice defensive moves, but Indian Hills still with it. And Indian Hills, they're going to get it back here. Cortezi with the pass that went out of bounds. Breen now with it. He's going to give it over to Calviello. Calviello still with it. Going to move back to the 40. And now he's going to drive up. Spinning around, looking for a pass, looking for a way in. He's going to give it over to 25, Brian Kindergan. And he'll give it back behind the goal. Now it's Breen with it once again on the left wing. And now it's James Hickey with it, number 8. He's going to head back to the 35. Now he's going to drive in. Shot. Saved by Rothschild, but it goes back into play. And a good play there from Christopher Bonanno. Indian Hills still with it. They've had the ball in Pascack Hills territory for pretty much the entirety of this game. As now Calviello with it. Ooh, and another goal. This time it's going to come from James Hickey. And Indian Hills goes up 2-0. Still on the ground, still a fight, some big checks in there as well. And it's going to be Pascack Hills with it. Onikian gives it up to John Stewart. On the right wing. Espinoza behind the goal in the center. Now Stewart will take his place. Stewart with the pass over to Driver on the left wing. And now it's going to be Weaver driving in. Shot goes wide and out of bounds. It'll stay with Hills, though. Pascack Hills, that is. Got to be careful with that. They both have Hills in their name. Now Driver back to Stewart behind the goal. Stewart trying to drive back in. And he scores! John Stewart with the opening goal for the Broncos. And they half the lead 2-1. So at the face-off, once again it is Groves. But no, it's going to go Indian Hills' way. Oh, a hard check there and on the ground. And Groves is going to get it back. He's going to go the other way. Spin move. And we got a whistle here. A timeout coming from Pascack Hills. And with 5 minutes 53 to go in our first quarter of action, the score 2-1. We'll be back in just a moment as these teams talk it over. And back to it with a score 2-1. As we said, 5 minutes 53 on the clock here in the first quarter of play. Aiden Calviello and James Hickey scoring the 2 goals for Indian Hills, and John Stewart just a few moments ago scoring the 1 goal so far for the Broncos. Back behind the midfield line here, it's going to be the Broncos with the ball. Michael Weaver gets it off the pass, and he's going to drive up into Indian Hills territory. Now into 3 defenders. He makes his way past both of them. And he'll give it back to C.J. Driver, the leading goal scorer on this Pascack Hills team, now in double trouble. Now he's going to go. He shoots, and it just barely bounces over the net, but Mark Espinoza is there to get it back, and now he is going to give it, or try to give it over to Michael Weaver, who does get it after it goes over his head, and now it's going to go to Ryan Davis and now John Stewart, who will cool things down a little bit. And Stewart with a jumping pass, but a good save there from Ryan Cam. A jumping shot, I should say. And the score stays 2-1. Out of bounds. Who's it going to go off of? It's going to go to Indian Hills. And so Aiden Calviello will have it to start things back up. Calviello will jog his way down to the 30-yard line, and we'll get back to it. Calviello covered by Cole Brennisser, number 5 there. And now a few other passes over to Breen, and now back to Jack Casano there, number 13. And now over to Cortezi, number 22. Oh, Breen dropped it on the ground. Both teams looking for the ball. And it's going to go to Indian Hills, the Braves. They've got it with Casano. Festa behind the goal gave it back to Breen. And now it's going to be Calviello with a jumping shot, but saved by Rothschild. Good save there from John Rothschild, the Pascack Hills goalie. And a goal, another goal for Pascack Hills. And they tie it up this time. Once again, it was John Stewart. 2 goals for him, 2 goals for the Broncos. And with 3 minutes 30 to go in the first, we are tied at 2. Back on the face-off, goes out. Groves can't get there. It's going to be James Hickey coming up with it. And he's going to make his way downfield to the 30. Pass over to Breen. And now over to Aiden Calviello, who comes up. He's going to try and give it in. He does. But the ball does come out. And Connor Onickian fighting to get it and now keep it as he makes his past midfield to John Stewart now. More upfield. He's going to try and make his way behind the goal. Looking for the hat trick. Over to Michael Weaver now. And now C.J. Driver, as we said, the leading goal scorer. Going to be covered by Stuck. And now it's going to be Weaver driving in. Shot. No, he didn't shoot it. He kept it. And he gives it over to Ryan Davis. And now a big shot from Brennisser, but it does go wide. Good work there from Ryan Cam to keep it out of the goal. but it will be Pascack Hill's ball coming in. It's going to be Michael Weaver with it. He's going to give it back to Davis. And now Brennesser at the 35 driving in. Gives it back to Driver, who shoots. And a save, and this time Cam will keep it in his net. Now Driver is going to give it to Stewart. Stewart on the attacking three, joined by Mark Espinoza, the leading assister, and Cole Brennesser. And now Stewart behind the goal, looking for a shot. Can't get it in. Still a live ball, but no, it's going to be Cam with it once again. And he's going to give it up. Cam back with it. He's going to give it over to one of his defenders there, Will Kilpatrick. And now up, but it is taken away by Pascack Hills. It was Aaron D'Alessandro in there, but it does not work out. Now an odd man rush, a shot and a goal for Indian Hills. And Luke Festa, number 5. They break the deadlock, 58 seconds to go in this first quarter, 3-2. Now the score, as we'll get ready for another face-off. And back underway now. Fight at midfield. It goes Indian Hills' way. It's going to be Tanner Gay with it. And now Brian Kindergan is going to give it over to Breen, who gives it to Calviello. Calviello trying to make his way through that stout Connor Onikian defense, but it's going to be a whistle. And it looks like it's going to go Pascack Hills' way. Yes, it will. Connor Onikian is going to give it over to CJ Driver. Under 20 seconds to go now. Driver with the spin move. He's got room. Drives in. Shot and a goal to tie it up with 18 seconds to go in the first quarter. We're all even at 3. And Driver gets his first goal of the game. Well, the leading goal scorer for Pascack Hills this year has added on to his tally once more. Was at 15 coming in, now it's 16 and counting. So here we go. It is Zach Groves still in for Pascack Hills, but a new face-off man for Indian Hills. And if I'm not mistaken, that is Joe Cortese, number 22. Still a fight for the ball. It's out now, and it's going to go Indian Hills' way. But a whistle here as Groves comes off, and Pascack Hills is going to get it. So here comes Brennesser up the field to end the quarter. Gives it over to Driver. Driver with a long shot. No chance at the net. And we will go to the end of the first quarter with an exhilarating 3-3 score here. We'll be back in just a few moments. But before we go, we do have some breaking news to announce that you have probably seen already. But if you haven't, let me do the talking for you. Dan Snyder has sold the Washington Commanders on a preliminary non-exclusive agreement, that's the wording from Adam Schefter, to Josh Harris and a group of investors, also including Magic Johnson, for an estimated $6.05 billion. That is the largest sale of an NFL franchise ever. So congrats to Mr. Snyder on ruining the Commanders. I can't say Redskins anymore. And getting a nice fat paycheck on top of it. Anyways, to the break. Back with you now, ready to start the second of 4 quarters here. It is 12 minutes until halftime. The score 3-3, but still excitement throughout the first quarter, and let's hope it persists throughout the game. Groves in there. He's going to wrestle it away and get it, and a nice spin move on top. So Zach Groves is going to drive through, and he makes a man dive there. Incredible stuff from Zach Groves. Still, the ball is in play, so we'll stay with it. Mark Espinoza with it off the pass from C.J. Driver behind the goal. And he'll give it over to John Stewart, who motions to Connor Onikian to get back. And now it is Mike Weaver who gives it over to Davis, and now Cole Brennisser. He'll give it back to Davis. Interesting rule in lacrosse, and that's why Espinoza was motioning to Onikian. You can only have 6 people on one side of the field at one time. So you can only have 6 people in the offensive side when you're on offense and 6 people in the defensive side when you're on defense. That goes for both teams, and that's pretty much their offsides rule. As Brennisser scores the tiebreaker, for now at least, 4-3 the score, and Brennisser's first goal of the game. Incredible stuff from number 5. Brennisser's 4th goal on the year. Good for him, as we'll get ready for yet another face-off, our 8th of this game so far. And, well, I'm sure you all know that we'll have definitely a lot more than that. Still Zach Groves in the middle for Pascack Hills. Tanner Gay moves back to that position for Indian Hills. And a whistle, and it'll go Indian Hills' way. James Hickey, number 8, he'll take it up. He's scored one of Indian Hills' 3 so far. Can he get another and tie it back up? Hickey gives it over to Aiden Caldiello, the opening goal scorer of today's game. Caldiello, he gave it over back to Hickey, who lines up at 35 and now is going to charge in. But he does have 3 Broncos swarming around him. Keeps it with him, though, after losing the ball momentarily. Now it's Brian Kindergan, number 25, who's going to drive in. Met by Connor Onikian and met by Zach Groves, who snatches it away from him. And he's going to rotate behind the goal, trying to give it into the goalie, John Rothschild. Rothschild is not going to be able to pick it up. Very dangerous situation for Pascack Hills. It goes up in the air now. Still a fight for it between the Broncos and the Braves, and now a foul. So Indian Hills is going to stay with it. It's going to be Luke Festa who has it. Now it's Brian Kindergan, and now all the way back to James Hickey on the 30. But Hickey gave it back almost immediately as I said his name. Breen now over to Aiden Calviello. And now to James Hickey. Hickey with a move on Connor Onikian, but Onikian is not phased. Now a spin move as another Bronco defender, Zach Groves. Now over to Calviello, up in the air. And a goal for Indian Hills to tie it up. And it looked like that one came from Brian Kindergan, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't get a good look on that one. We'll give it to Kindergan in the booth. I'm sure they'll fix it up for the post-game report. And that is going to make Kindergan the guy with the most goals scored on this Indian Hills team. He's got 6. The former leader was Justin Vitale with 5, but also Aiden Calviello scored, so that puts him at 6 as well. Nevertheless, on the Brave stats, let's get back to the game. Groves had it for a moment, but lost it. Now a whistle, and it's going to go to the Broncos. Back to it immediately. Groves takes it up. Lightning speed gives it over to John Stewart. And now Stewart with a nice spin move. He's going to drive in, shoot. And a good save there from Cam. Gets it up. And a big block from Espinoza, a flag. And now Espinoza scores, but the flag, is it going to count? No, it's going to be goalie interference, as you can probably hear some of the fans screaming. So I'm not going to say anything until they get this mess sorted out.
Guys, enough. It's not my fault.
Okay, so now that we have all the details sorted out, that was a goal. It was not goalie interference. As I said before, the score is now 5-4 Pascack Hills with 8 minutes 43 to go. It was a good goal there from Mark Espinoza, but of course some contention will come from how he got the ball. Now back to the face-off. And easily won by Tanner Gay there, number 10. He will give it to Kindergan. Kindergan still with it. Now trying to drive in. Cannot get a shot off just yet. And now we'll give it over to Calviello. Calviello getting checked there from Onikian. Number 3 on number 3. At the 40, still a lot of checks. Connor Onikian with some good defense there, but Calviello does get by. He does come on in. But now he's met with some sterner defense from Brady Gannon. And the rest of the Broncos. Now it's going to be a low shot that goes wide out of bounds and back to Indian Hills. The shot from Brian Kindergan, and Indian Hills will get the ball with Luke Festa bringing it in. And now it'll go to Cortese, Joe Cortese. Now Breen, who will give it back to Festa. And now Festa driving in, shoots, and he scores, but a flag. Seems the goal does count, and we are tied at 5. Good goal from Luke Festa, his second of the game. And we will get back to it in a moment. 5-5 the score. 7 minutes 20 to go in the second quarter. It'll be Zach Groves in the middle for Pascack Hills. Tanner Gay in the middle for Indian Hills. And they're off again. Back out into Indian Hills territory. Indian Hills does not get it. Groves comes in and steals it from Jackson Cole there, and he gives it over to CJ Driver before running off to the sideline. Incredible stuff from Zach Groves, a hockey star, one of the best players on the Pascack hockey team this winter, now showing his skill on the lacrosse field. Weaver tried to give it over to Brennesser, but he couldn't haul it in. Now Driver looking for a shot. Zings it in. It does not work, and it goes into the stick, the netting of the stick of Ryan Cam there. Cam with it out of the crease. Some dangerous territory as Espinoza does give him a little roughing there. Now Driver going to give it into Espinoza, who shoots but does not score. Still a fight for it, and now it's going to be Cam with it. Casano now, number 13. He's got it for Indian Hills. And now it's going to be Breen. Breen, number 6, gives it over. Shot went wide from Kindergan and out of bounds. Back in there with Festa. Over to Breen now, number 6. And now it's going to be James Hickey with it back to the 35, and now driving in. He's going to give it in. A shot went wide once again. Stays with Indian Hills. Shot from Kindergan once again. And he will get it back on the inbound play, as now it's going to be Festa who gives it over to Breen, and now call the yellow. Call the yellow, still with it. Shot goes wide again, out of bounds. And into the netting. How about that? Just 5 minutes to go here before halftime. We're all even at 5 between the Pascack Hills Broncos and the Indian Hills Braves. Hills is 4-0 coming into this one. Indian Hills 2-1. And this is a divisional game. Pascack Hills is 3rd of the year. It is Kindergan who will take it in for Indian Hills. He gives it over to Breen, who now gives it over to James Hickey. Hickey going to get it back on the pass from Call the Yellow. And now Call the Yellow looking to drive in. But he stops just short of where he wanted to be. Now back behind the goal, too. That is Casano. And now it is going to be Hickey who gives it over to Call the Yellow. And Call the Yellow spinning, trying to get past the 2 Pascack Hills defenders on him. That is Gabe Crandall and Connor Onikian. But now it's going to be Breen with the shot dropped. But Breen gets it back as a flag going to be thrown. As Brady Gannon laying down but not hurt, thankfully. It's going to go Pascack Hills' way. And it looks like Mike Weaver will have it to take it up. Just about 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. And back to it. Here comes Weaver. He gives it over to Brennisser, who gives it on the right wing to Stewart. Now into Espinoza and back to the midfield line. Brennisser with it. Now to Stewart. And now to Davis, number 14. And now it's Espinoza with it. He gives it to Stewart. Stewart with the shot, and it's in. Hills, Pascack Hills breaks the tie. 6-5 the score now. And John Stewart has his hat trick. 3 goals for him today. A great day for John Stewart, as it looks like Weaver, Brennisser, and Ryan Davis will all come off here. The midfield line does come off. And now back to the face-off here as Groves is in with Gay, and Groves is not going to get it. It's instead going to go to Indian Hills as Kindergan with it. Kindergan with the shot, and it is in to tie it up once again. Brian Kindergan with his second goal of the game. We're tied at 6, 3 minutes 25 to go in the second of 4 quarters. So Zach Groves doesn't even have to come off, as it will be Tanner Gay replaced at midfield by Joe Cortese, which was the same thing that happened in the first quarter. So it seems to be a strategy for Indian Hills now. Back to it on the faceoff. Broken away, goes to Pascack Hills. Onikian just barely getting it, and he'll make his way past the 50. Now over to John Stewart, number 9. He's going to take it behind the net now. And now Stewart driving in. Shot just wide. It goes out of bounds. Stays with Pascack Hills, though. 3 minutes to go. Now it is Stewart, number 9. Rotating back to the midfield line. Actually, sorry, that is Dylan Freitag, number 8. Looked like a 9 to me here. Now it's going to be Stewart with it. And Stewart will give it over to Brennisser, who gives it to Freitag with a spin move and a shot. No good. Saved by Ryan Cam, and it'll go the other way. Oh, a nice defensive move there from Chris Bonanno to get it. He's going to give it back to Rothschild, who gives it up to Freitag. Freitag over to Weaver, who is back on. Now Weaver will give it back to Driver at the 20. Goal placed at the 10. Shot from Stewart, and it is in. Number 4 for John Stewart. And goal number 7 overall for Pascack Hills. They take the lead once again. Minute 49 to go. Back to it on the face-off. Groves on the ground. Tried to keep it with him, but a whistle. Looks like it'll be Pascack Hills ball here. And they will take a timeout, it looks like. So we'll be back in just a few moments here on PH Athletics, your home for Pascack Hill Sports. So back to it now. The score is 7-6. A minute 47 to go before halftime here. As Pascack Hills with the ball, it is Mike Weaver, number 4, who has it. And we will begin once again. Now Brennisser will give it over to Stewart, who gives it to Mark Espinoza behind the goal. And Espinoza will give it to Driver, who gives it back to Davis, and he completes the cycle by giving it back to Weaver. Just some passing, nothing too special. 1 minute 20 to go. Hill's trying to hang on to the ball to try and get one last shot in before the end of the half. And get ready, everybody. It's time for the charge. Brennisser with the shot, saved by Cam. And he'll go behind the net to give it out to Will Kilpatrick, who loses it. But it's going to be Aiden Calviello who is there to get it. And a nice move from Espinoza to poke it out. Driver comes in to try and get it. Can he, though? No. Doesn't matter. There's a whistle, and it goes to the Broncos. 35 seconds to go. Now it's time for an all-out push. Driver gives it over to Weaver. 30 seconds. Weaver driving in. Oh, he got checked hard in the head there. He's okay. He gives it over to Ryan Davis. Now Davis back to Stewart, which would score a touchdown in football, but no, this is lacrosse. He's in the end zone behind the goal. Now he's going to make his move, driving in, looking for a pass, gives it in. Weaver has the shot blocked, and Espinoza scores one to end the half. Well, there's 3 seconds left, but let's be honest, that's the end of it. 8-6 the score, and Mark Espinoza gets his second goal of the game. How about that? Espinoza's 9th and 10th goals this season have come in this game. And now ready for the face-off. That should be the only action we see before halftime. Let's find out. There it goes. Clock starts, and almost immediately that will end. So we'll go to the halftime break. Pascack Hills with a nice but not comfortable cushion. 8-6 is the score. And we'll come back to 24 minutes of lacrosse right after this. I'm Matthew Merlino. You're watching PH Athletics, your home for Pascack Hills Sports. Well, we're ready to get back to things after halftime. Welcome back. I'm Matthew Merlino. 12 minutes are on the clock for our third of 4 quarters. It is Zach Groves in the middle for the Pascack Hills Broncos, and if I am not mistaken, Tanner Gay back in the middle for the Indian Hills Braves. Indian Hills is right now 0-3-1, the one tie coming against boys track and field. They lost to girls track and field yesterday. They lost to softball yesterday 7-5, and they lost to baseball yesterday 9-8. That was a very exciting game, a walk-off hit for Marianne Stern and Kyle Wenkus coming home. But back to the lacrosse game now. So a correction to my statement, it was Riverdale that Pascack Hills softball beat, not Indian Hills. They look the same, excuse me. Anyways, back to the lacrosse game. It is Indian Hills with it now. Aiden Calviello with it, and he's going to give it up to Breen, who gives it behind the goal to Luke Festa there, number 5, and he gives it over to Brian Kindergan, and they'll cycle it around here between their 6 attackers. Back to Calviello, now Breen. And now Calviello driving in, goes up and over the goal. Indian Hills is going to get it back, it looks like. No, it's going to be Pascack Hills with it, but there is a whistle. So it went out of bounds. Pascack Hills will get it. Connor Onikian will give it into the goalie, John Rothschild, who is in double trouble, but he does get it out to Aaron D'Alessandro there, and he fires it up to John Stewart. And Stewart will make his way past midfield now. Number 9 scored 4 goals out of the 8 for Pascack Hills so far today. 8-6 is the score. And he'll give it behind the goal to Mark Espinoza, the assist leader for the Pascack Hills Broncos this season. And it would have been CJ Driver there, number 2, who is the goals leader for Pascack Hills, one of the best players on the team. And now it's going to be Cole Brennisser who tries to drive in, number 5. He'll give it back behind the goal to that's Stewart. And now it'll be CJ Driver with it again. He's going to drive in. Tried to give it into Espinoza, but it looked to be a bad pass. It was very close to the goal. Probably would have been a goal, but instead it does go out of bounds. So here is John Stewart, who leads the team in points, at least coming into this game. He gives it over to Espinoza. And now it is Ryan Davis. And it goes over to Brennisser through Michael Weaver. And now Brennisser will give it up to CJ Driver. A lot of passing for Pascack Hills. They just can't seem to find their way through that Indian Hills defense. At least not yet, they can't. They've already gotten 8 goals. Who says they can't get more? Now Driver behind the goal. Trying to spin out of it. Trying to shoot. A flag goes up. Driver still with it. Puts on a nice juke and loses it. Loses his stick along with it. And Davis cannot get it. A good move there from Weaver to try and get it. But it almost didn't work, but it did. Weaver's got it. And now he lost it. So Indian Hills is going to get it. A foul, I believe. Yep, that's what the flag is for. Delayed foul. And it will go Indian Hills' way. So John Stewart gets it off the pass from Cole Brennisser. It goes Pascack Hills' way. And now it'll be Ryan Davis. He gives it into Mark Espinoza. Espinoza winding up for the shot, but he thought better of it. Now it's CJ Driver who winds up and thinks better of it once again. Now it's over to John Stewart, who lost it there. It was a low pass. Stewart is going to be able to keep it in and keep it in his netting. Now Stewart with a low shot. It hit one guy on Pascack Hills, and he is down. It looks like Mark Espinoza. We will take a break. And we can tell you, thankfully, that Mark Espinoza is now making his way to the sideline, jogging, and he seems to be okay. Clock was stopped with 7 minutes 52 to go in our third quarter of play here. 8-6 is the score. Pascack Hills does lead the Indian Hills Braves. Pascack Hills Lacrosse is 4-0 right now. They're looking for win number 5. It would be a great accomplishment for this Bronco team, led by 4 seniors. Chris Bonanno on the defensive end, John Stewart in the offensive end, Aaron D'Alessandro in the defensive end, and Mark Espinoza in the offensive end. A pretty even senior lineup for Pascack Hills, and that'll make for some good celebration come senior day. Right now we're focused on the game as Indian Hills does have it. Good pass up. Now it's an open goal. Shot went off the crossbar, it looked like, off one bar, and it goes the other way for Pascack Hills. Tough luck for Brian Kindergan and the Braves. But they still have the ball. They still are dangerous. James Hickey with it now, and he gives it over to Aiden Calviello. Now Calviello facing some heavy defensive pressure from Connor Onikian as well as Zach Groves, but he was able to give it in. Does not matter as the ball goes out of bounds and goes Pascack Hills' way. Looks like Zach Groves will take it for Pascack Hills here. The Broncos leading by 2. And Groves will give it to John Rothschild, the goalie, who will fling it up to Ryan Davis, but it is lost and it goes to the Braves. And in to Festa, but he lost it. Can he keep it inbounds? Yes, he does. It stops just before the out-of-bounds line there. And now over to Brian Kindergan. So now Breen with it, and he gives it over to Calviello at just about the 30. Good check there on Festa. Puts him to the ground. But Indian Hills still with it. Calviello with a nice pass in. But not in the goal. And we do have another man down for Pascack Hills. Can't identify who it is. Is he going to get up? Yes, he will. Good job there that is Brady Gannon. And he will make his way off to the sideline, it looks like, unfortunately. But it does seem that he is okay. Might just need a little bit of rest. So just about halfway through our third quarter here, 6 minutes 12 to go. Once again, the score 8-6. Pascack Hills leads Indian Hills in this very tight and close matchup. Rothschild with the ball, but it is going to be stolen by Festa. He gives it back. The shot and in the goal for Aiden Colviello. And it will count. 8-7 now the score, and Colviello gets his second goal of the game, as pretty much everybody on Indian Hills has multiple goals except for number 8, James Hickey. He is stuck at 1. 6 minutes 05 to go now after that quick goal after the inbound play. And so we'll get ready for another face-off. Tanner Gay in the middle, it looks like, as James Hickey comes back on for Indian Hills, and Zach Groves will join him there for the Broncos. Ready to get back to it now. And we're back underway. Groves kicks it out, but it goes high up in the air. And to Gabe Crandall of Pascack Hills. He gives it over to John Stewart. And Stewart will make his way behind the goal. He'll cool things down here. Stewart will sling it over to Driver. Driver with a nice pass in to Espinoza, but he lost it. Ball is still on the ground and in play. Espinoza does get it back. Goes almost on his knee to stay in bounds, and he does. Driver with it now. He's going to look for a way in with 2-3 Braves on him. Now he's going to make his way around. Shot and in the goal for CJ Driver. He's going to get his second of the game and put Pascack Hills up by 2 once again. So back to the face-off. Groves and Gay in the middle, and Groves is going to get it all on his own. Didn't even need any help. It barely moved a foot. As now it'll be Cole Brennisser with it. Brennisser going to give it over to Groves. Groves making his way around Jackson Cole, the Indian Hills defender. He gives it back to Ryan Davis. And he'll get it back off the few passes from John Stewart. Groves going to be replaced here by Mike Weaver. And here we go again. Davis is going to try and give it to Espinoza. He lost it, but Weaver is thankfully there to get it back for the Broncos. And a nice spin move from Weaver. Can he put the ball in? He put it on the ground at least, but it was saved by Ryan Cam. And Cam is going to give it out to one of his defenders here. That's going to be Stuck. And now it'll be Will Kilpatrick with it. Kilpatrick gives it up to Stuck, who tried to give it up there to Colviello. But still a fight for it over on the far sideline. Still a lot of checking, and now some whistles. Oh, and we got a fight. We got a Donnybrook here. Oh, my. Well, the tempers have overflowed with still a quarter and about a third to go. 4 minutes left in the third quarter. 9-7 is the score for the Broncos. And we're probably going to see some Broncos and Braves come off for good. So, as they sort things out on the field, we'll take a quick break here on PH Athletics. And we welcome you back to Pascack Hills after the mayhem that just ensued. The fight that happened between Pascack Hills and Indian Hills, we'll leave it at that. The talking to seemed to be over from both the referees and the coaches. And it looks like we are ready to get back to some lacrosse here. The score 9-7. There's 3 minutes 54 to go in the third quarter. And Pascack Hills has the lead. Here is Zach Groves, number 24, who will give it over to Ryan Davis, and we'll get back underway. And now it'll go to Dylan Freitag here, number 8, and he gives it over to Cole Brennesser. And now it is Zach Groves over to Davis, back to Groves, and back over to Stewart. And now Brennesser, who gives it to Espinoza all the way over to Freitag. He lost it. Who's going to get it? It looks like it was almost Freitag, and a big shove on Freitag from James Hickey onto Dylan Freitag to shove him out of bounds. It will be Pascack Hills' ball, and it's going to be John Stewart's ball now. And now Ryan Davis with it. He's going to give it over to Freitag, who gives it back to Davis. And now to Zach Groves, who will now give it over to Brennesser. Now over to Stewart. And Stewart, bad pass there. It's on the ground. And now Indian Hills has it. Good pass up from Will Kilpatrick. Now it's going to be Luke Festa who has it. And Festa will give it over to Kindergan now. Kindergan, he's going to give it over to James Hickey. Hickey into Breen. It is saved by Rothschild. And now it'll go the other way. The Broncos with it. A whistle now. That looks to be a timeout called by, I believe, Indian Hills. I'm not sure. So we'll be back in just a few moments. There's 2 minutes 16 on the clock. 9-7 the score. Pascack Hills leads. Back to it now after the timeout. Hills with it. It was Chris Bonanno who gives it up to no one. It heads out of bounds and back to Indian Hills. Oh, a nice check there from Freitag, and he's going to get the ball. Takes a check. Really has nobody else with him. He's going to have to head behind the goal if he wants anything. He's going to give it over to Cole Brennesser. And Brennesser will give it back to Zach Groves. After 35, we will start cooling down. 1 minute 40 to go and counting here in our third quarter of action. 4 quarters scheduled. Could go to overtime. Nobody really knows, of course. It's a 2-goal lead for Pascack Hills. 9-7 is the score. Driver with 2, Espinoza with 2, Brennisser with 1, and John Stewart leading the day with 4. Espinoza almost got his second, but he couldn't handle the pass. He did get it back. Now Brennisser almost got it. A whistle. And I'm not sure, because that could be yelling from either Indian Hills fans or Pascack Hills fans that I'm following. But as of right now, it looks like it is going to be Pascack Hills ball. So here's John Stewart spinning around looking for a way through. Gives it out to Ryan Davis now. Davis over to Groves. Now it is Freitag with it. And he gives it back to Groves. Now over to Brennisser, and Brennisser driving in. He's going to put a spin move on him. Tried to give it out to Stewart. It will go out of bounds, and it will go to Indian Hills. So Indian Hills will take it up now. Will be Will Kilpatrick with it. He's going to give it over to Ryan Cam, the goalie. Cam tried to give it up, but it is still in play. Now it's over to James Hickey, and Hickey's going to drive in. Gave it in. Shot. No, it was wide. Shot from Brian Kindergan. Goes wide and out of bounds. But back to Indian Hills. Big check, and the buzzer sounds. But it does not matter, because Jack Casano scored right before he got checked. So the score 9-8, a buzzer beater shot there from Jack Casano, his first goal of the game. And that cuts the lead down to 1, heading to our final 12 scheduled minutes. We'll be back in just a few moments. All right, let's get back to it. 12 minutes to go in our fourth scheduled quarter of action, our final scheduled quarter of action. The score 9-8, so it's very close. We could head to overtime here. It's already 5:50 p.m., if you can believe that. And we're back to it. Zach Groves with a nice move on the face-off, and he's going to get hit hard. A flag comes on down. Who is going to get the ball? It is going to be Indian Hills, but the flag goes up, and I believe it's going to go Pascack Hills' way here. So ready to get back to it, and it is Ryan Davis who will give it up to... That was Eric Rinn, who is in, also a standout hockey star. Number 7, he is in, so it's an all-new, or pretty much all-new lineup for the strikers for Hills. It is number 7, Eric Rinn, number 8, Dylan Freitag, and number 9, John Stewart does stay on. But right now it's back to the midfielders. Cole Brennisser with it, and he gives it over to Stewart. Trying to give it in, and a whistle. Here it goes Indian Hills' way. Ooh, I'm not going to say slash, but, oh, there you go. Out of bounds. Stays with Indian Hills, though. What a chaotic scene.
I just threw my head and I saw the wall.
So here we go. Indian Hills coming back in with it. It looks like it'll be Luke Festa with the ball. He's got Brian Kindergan by his side. With a minute played in our fourth quarter. So, yes, it is Festa who has it, and he will give it over to Kindergan. They'll calm things down, looking for a way through here. Of course, a goal would tie it up. That would be momentous for Indian Hills. They've been down since the end of the second quarter. And, of course, the heroics from Jack Casano at the end of the third quarter, putting him down by 1. So now it's Breen. It had a pass, but couldn't hang on to it. Right in the crease now, and it's going to go Pascack Hills' way. So Rothschild immediately back to it. He gives it to Festa, who gives it up to, I believe that was Zach Groves, but I'm not sure. It is John Stewart with it now, number 9. Scored 4 goals today out of the Hills 9, Pascack Hills 9. As Ryan Davis will give it over to Freitag, who's going to give it over to Gabe Crandall. And now he's going to come off as it is Cole Brennisser who has the ball now. 9 minutes 30 to go. Hill's just trying to burn some time, burn some clock as Eric Rinn gets it. Rinn gives it over to number 9, John Stewart. Stewart with it in the end zone behind the goal. And now he's going to drive in with the shot. It was just wide and out of bounds. Will stay with Pascack Hills, it looks like. Yes, it will. So here is Rinn, who will give it over to Stewart. Out of bounds. And Indian Hills will get a good work from Will Kilpatrick to keep any Broncos from getting there. Nice boxing out, but a good interception from Justin Diamond, number 10, who gets it, loses it. Can he keep it? Big check from James Hickey, and some more checking from Hickey. That's going to put Diamond on the ground. And now a flag comes up. It's Rin with it, but a whistle, and it looks like Indian Hills is going to get the ball back. So we are back to it. Indian Hills does have the ball. Jack Casano with it, number 13, and he drives in from the 40. But before he does that, he gives it over to Joe Cortese, who will get it back after a pass from Brian Kindergan. Now it is James Hickey who has it once again, and he's at the 35-yard line. Over to Casano now. Oh, lost it. That was the pass from Festa to Hickey. It does not go out of bounds. At least it doesn't yet. And Indian Hills gets it back. Here's Festa driving in. Shot and a goal to tie it up. Luke Festa with the hat trick and the tying goal. We're all even at 9. 7 minutes 53 to go. I believe so, unless there is a foul. No, it did. Okay, I guess it didn't count. Pascack Hills still with the lead. Festa at 2 goals now instead of 3. And the score 9-8, 7 minutes 30 to go. So it is Stewart with it behind the goal, John Stewart. Now Stewart with the pass into Davis, but he cannot get the goal. It's a good shot, but some good defending. And now Freitag with the shot, but a nice save there from Ryan Cam. Up to Kindergan. Kindergan driving in. A nice pass, but missed the connection as now Breen gets it and Indian Hills will reset. Kindergan with the shot, falls. And it's going to go the other way to Pascack Hills. So here is Connor Onicki, and he's going to give it up to, that is Freitag, I believe. Yes. And Freitag will give it over to Stewart. He's going to give it back to Dylan Freitag. Dylan with a nice move. Shot. No, just wide. Does it go out? Yes, it does. Who does it go to? It stays with Pascack Hills. Got a whistle here. And now we'll get back underway. Rin gives it to Stewart in the end zone behind the goal. And we have under 6 minutes to go here. Pascack Hills with a narrow advantage. 1 point. 1 goal is the separation. And Hills is going to be called for going in the crease. Indian Hills will get the ball. Stuck is going to rip it up. but it goes to nobody. Now it is Kindergan with it. Kindergan with the pass. Gives it over to Casano now, who scored one today. But now it goes back to Cortese. Still a scram for it. And Indian Hills is going to keep it with him. Breen with it. In. Good shot. It went too far above the net after the bounce. As defense on high alert, there's a whistle. So 3 minutes 58 to go in the fourth quarter. The score is 9-8. Pascack Hills with the lead and the ball. It is Justin Diamond who has it off the pass from Chris Bonanno. And now Diamond with the shot, goes wide, falls out of bounds. It goes the other way to Indian Hills. And now it's stuck with it for Indian Hills. The Braves taking it up slowly but surely. Here is Will Kilpatrick now, number 11. He tries to give it up to Hickey, but it does not work out. Ball goes out of bounds and to Pascack Hills. Logan Nassau with it. And he gives it up to John Stewart. Three minutes left. Stewart with it. Trying to drive in. It does not work. At least not yet. Stewart trying it again. Spin move. Goal here. Could put it away, but never so certain. Stewart covered by Kilpatrick. Shot does not matter. It goes Indian Hills' way. For what reason, none of us know. Two minutes 50 to go here, and starting to get to crunch time for Indian Hills. Not just yet, but they are getting there. So here comes Pascack. Here comes Indian Hills, I should say. Mike Breen. And the shot went wide, so it's going to go out, and it'll go in favor of Pascack Hills. Hills with the ball deep in their own territory. It's going to be Chris Bonanno who has it. He's going to give it up to Connor Onikian. And Onikian is going to give it to Nassau here. And it does go out. It's going to go Indian Hills' way. Surprising. But James Hickey with it. And now, big shot, saved just barely by Ashengren. The shot from Casano. Ball is still in play as here comes Ryan Davis up the field, all on his own with the speed of a fighter pilot. But he tried to pass to John Stewart. It went out of bounds, and now it will go Indian Hills' way once again. Timeout from one of the coaches with 1 minute 57 on the clock in the fourth quarter. 9-8 the score. It's very close. Under 2 minutes to go. We'll be back in a moment. Back on the field, getting to crunch time for both teams. Pascack Hills leading by 1. 9-8 is the score with 1 minute 57 to go. So back to it, 1 minute 30 to go. 9-8 is the score. On the ground. Oh, a lot of players falling. Doesn't matter. Ball still in play, and Pascack Hills has it. It's going to be Cole Brennisser making his way up. He gives it over to John Stewart. Stewart spinning around, going behind the goal. 1 minute to go. And he'll slow down, trying to make sure Pascack Hills can win their 5th game this year, their 5th game straight, to go 5-0, undefeated, under 1 minute. Oh, in trouble. Stewart still has it. Gives it out to Brennisser. Brennisser tried to give it back to Stewart. It goes out of bounds. And it goes to Indian Hills. 36 seconds to go. My, oh my. So up the field very quickly. Just 30 seconds to do what they have to do. One goal separating Pascack Hills and Indian Hills. And here is Joe Corteza. He gives it in, but it's dropped by Jack Cassano. On the ground, still a shot. 10 seconds to go. All the way upfield. It's caught by Indian Hills. It doesn't matter. There's 4 seconds to go. Now just desperation, and that's going to end it. It's Ryan Davis with the ball. Pascack Hills rushes the field, and they go 5-0. 9-8 the final score. The Broncos defeat the Indian Hills Braves in a very, very good game. We thank you for joining us here on PH Athletics. I'm Matthew Merlino, and we hope to see you next time for another hopefully exciting game. For now, though, this is Matthew Merlino saying good afternoon or good night.